Hello, my wonderful listeners. Remember now, Rena, John, and TH are all rushing out to find Elin in Michigan. In the meantime, Elin is in an exquisite hotel doing some heavy thinking. Let's hear her thoughts. Watching TH from his early filming days was like watching moments of her father's life play out before her very own eyes. With the endless stories he'd tell her about his teenage and early adult years, Elin was glued to every word when Mr. Jordan spoke. So when she watched TH on film, she had the opportunity to actually experience a wonderful phenomenon in seeing the very persona of what her father was like all his life. Rena could even see this for herself because each time they watched one of TH movies together, she would ask, Elin, doesn't TH remind you of someone? Neither of them could quite ascertain what it was at the time. TH, I need to share something with you about Elin because it's time for her to stop suffering and punishing herself about Peter. Now, Rena is telling the story concerning Elin's baggage. Let's listen in. TH pulled the car over into a rest stop, and they each got out of the truck. Now both men were looking perturbed. They entered the eatery, took a booth in the back, and just ordered coffee. As Rena proceeded to tell of her friend's ordeal, TH could only wish that he had met Elin sooner. What an awful thing for her to suffer through. A fiancé who had become a stalker? TH had learned one of the emotional traumas concerning Elin earlier on, but it hadn't been this one. He was totally in the dark about what he was hearing now. So he bombarded Rena with many questions. Did they ever catch the guy? How long did he serve in time? Elin blamed herself for so long, saying that she could never hurt anyone like that again. Rena spoke. She blamed herself for getting out of a situation that was entirely his fault. This man had lied to Elin, big time. And by the grace of God, she found out the truth before the wedding. That was a time when she deeply mourned her father and knew if he were alive, it would not have happened. The man had 3 children out of wedlock with 3 different women, but told Elin he was not ever seriously involved with anyone. If having 3 children isn't serious, then what is it? He said that she wasn't being fair to him and proceeded to harass her thereafter. Rena continued. He knew where she taught, so she took a leave of absence and found another community to live in. He had become so obsessed until he got himself caught by the police. They happened to spot him aggressively approach Elin in broad daylight and proceed to shout at her. The police walked toward him and he ran. They pursued and caught him after a knockdown, drag-out fight of resistance from Peter. He got time for assaulting an officer, violating a standing restraining order, and they also found a deadly weapon on him. Again, somebody up there was watching out for Elin. T.H. and John could not believe what they were hearing. Why would she blame herself for the actions of a jerk? T.H. bemoaned. Rena explained that Elin kept saying that she should have known better. She said that the signs had to be there, but she ignored them. She allowed his pathetic declarations of love for her to replay in her mind. This man had somehow convinced her, in his own sick way, that no one would love her like he did. Can you imagine? T.H. scoffed at hearing that, because the man deeply loving Elin above all others was sitting right here, longing for her right now. After hearing what he thought was a true horror story, T.H. was in both rage and hurry. The rage was toward that idiot who had somehow managed to delay him and Elin being together forever. And the hurry was to go and get her immediately. They quickly finished their coffee and rushed to the truck. Another hour and they would be in Michigan. It was a good thing that Rena knew Elin so well, because she hadn't told her where she'd be staying, but Rena knew what Elin fancied in a hotel. Therefore, she was certain to correctly guess which one Elin selected. Meantime, all she could think of is how naive she had been. Elin sobbed. "Look at me when I'm talking to you." The man paced the floor, back and forth, railing and roaring. Before Elin could respond, his hand had touched her face. She hoped he hadn't seen the look of revulsion she felt as soon as he touched her. Now she wished she had told Rena exactly where she would be staying. How could I have been so stupid? Elin questioned herself again and again. Then she heard that still, small voice. Be still and know. Be still and know. With that, Elin straightened up in her chair that she had been tied to and regained her composure. Peter, I don't think that you're scum. I know you just wanted me. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! You're wrong again. I needed you to think the best of me. Don't you see? I needed you. You never loved me. I was going to tell you about the kids after we married. Again, Elin heard the voice telling her, be silent. Peter continued to pace back and forth in front of her. She couldn't understand why she hadn't been notified of Peter's release. It was the responsibility of the authorities to notify a stalking victim of the perpetrator's release. She tried desperately not to think about T.H. at this time, because the tears would flow and not stop. Seeing now how unstable and manipulative Peter was, she no longer blamed herself for calling off the wedding. She realized that it wasn't meant to be. The true love of her life had found her, of all places, in Viva Las Vegas. How about that mystery? The events that had occurred in her life had all led up to that one critical moment for meeting T.H. So now, if this is the way it has to play out, Elin thought, so be it. Elin spoke with great peace now. After hearing those words come from her innermost being, Elin suddenly felt an invigorating strength and conviction. It's interesting that when the truth is heard, whether from oneself or others, it illuminates everything. Spoken so eloquently by her father in one of his seminars.